Okay, we have Select spawning as our blue Terran in the, I want to say 7 o'clock position. And we have HuK spawning at the 2 o'clock position as our red Protoss. So HuK managing to ninja red yet again. Just pissing off Select a little bit here and there. I don't know if HuK actually plays red on the regular, but I do know that that is Select's favorite color. I personally play yellow, so if you ever play me in a tournament, please don't steal my yellow.
I personally play pink. Real men
play pink.
No, that's yeah, that's the color of your country. You gotta rock that color. But yeah, it's going to be cross positions here, and it's going to be game number 4. I believe HuK is currently up 2-1. So if Select wins this game, it will go to a final showdown, and if HuK wins this game, it will end the series. Did I say HuK twice? I think I meant Select. If Select wins this game, it'll go to the finals.
So everything is on the line right here for Select. He needs to win this game. It's do or die. HuK has a lot of momentum going into this final game. He is up 2 games, and he, I would love to see Select mix it up a little bit. Maybe try and kill the back rocks. Take a safer expansion in the back of the base as opposed to just getting up a super fast expansion at the front. And maybe D up a little bit, maybe tech, and change up the tech pattern a little bit. I mean, there's so many different things you can do in StarCraft 2, and I hate to see players get stuck in a rut where they're just using the same builds over and over and over, because really, guys, this game is not figured out at all. I mean, there are builds that we consider standard that are really good, but I mean, if you watch the GSL or if you just play a lot at a high level, you know that you can almost do any variation of any build. And if you're a good player and you know what you're doing and you know how to use the units and you know how to harass properly, you can throw your opponent off and you can do things that are unexpected that are still good nonetheless. So I would love to see Select try and do something a little bit different here.
Yeah, I mean, as a Zerg player, I think the builds change. The best builds, flavor of the month, change on a monthly basis, literally. You know, and it really does depend on patches as well. Because before, if you were Zerg versus Terran, you'd oh, the probe gets taken out. So HuK there gets a little pissed off about that. But I was just saying, complimenting to what you were saying, you know, builds change all the time. I mean, Zergs before were doing, you know, 14 gas, 14 pulls standard versus Terran, but now it's all about the 14 hatch. So, I don't know, things change on the monthly basis. The game is way too early to be settling yourself into a standard build, but it seems like Select will be opening with his double barracks once again. Is he going to go for this command center, this quick command center? Because if he does, I think HuK knows exactly what to do. And we'll see. He's throwing a pylon down south, though, so he might go for his Nexus build that he went on Metalopolis.
Indeed. HuK dropping that Nexus immediately, straight again with the 1-gate FE, chrono boosting his warp gate research, and Select looking to apply a little bit of early pressure here, yet dropping a bunker outside of his natural. I find this a little bit strange. He's pressuring and defending at the same time. Select trying to get in with that Reaper and get a little bit of scouting information, because he really knows nothing right now. He's still in the dark.
I think Select here wants to get his own command center up. I think he's going to go for a FE off of two racks, and HuK will be throwing down a couple of gateways. He's going to need around 3 or 4 total in order to be able to secure this Nexus at the front. But both players will be opening up with an economic opening. The bunker there was salvaged because Select now sees that there is a fast Nexus going down. Now, that was the reason he lost on Metalopolis. He thought that HuK went for a Nexus, and then he had a couple gateways, but he underestimated the pressure from HuK, and he decided not to build any bunkers. Now, is it going to be his fault this time? He's actually not going to be getting a command center. He's going to be throwing down a 3rd barracks, and he's going to be pushing out. I like this play.
I like this play a lot too, but the thing that is so safe and good about this 1-gate FE is that your warp gate timing finishes right as you get those 3 gateways up. And he's been producing units the whole time, so he has 4 Stalkers right now and a Zealot, and he's working off of 3 warp gates. His production is already great. He has the economy to support it, and if need be, he can pull probes, and he hasn't even had to pull a single probe to stop a 3 racks push. And I think the reasoning behind this, and the reason this happened, is because the 3rd racks was dropped very late. It wasn't a quick 3 racks push. The 3rd racks was dropped like, oh hey, he's quick expanding. I'm not going to put up my command center. I have 500 minerals. I'm going to drop a third Rax and try and apply some pressure. But really, the third Rax never even played a role in that push whatsoever. All of those units were built off of the 2 Raxes, and HuK was more than capable of dealing with it. So those of you in the future, if you see a Protoss 1-gate FE like this, it is not a good response to try and push with a handful of Marines and Marauders, because their production is going to be on par with, say, a normal 3-gate timing, because the warp gate research finishes at the same time regardless of whether or not they drop that FE. They're just not going to have enough money to build as many Zealots.
I totally agree with that analysis, PainUser. I was actually going to mention that. But now SeleCT has a bunker. He has to hold this off. He suffered so many casualties trying to push out and punish the Protoss FE. And like you said, it's almost like, you know, he had all those minerals. He was planning to go for a 2 Rax FE. But then he decided at the last minute, I'm going to change my mind and throw down a third Rax, but that third Rax never played a role. It was just a 2 Rax all in. It didn't do enough damage. Now SeleCT is in a horrible position. He has to push out with SCVs. Does he have enough to turn this game around? Because right now he's really behind in economy. 20 Harvesters under 37. More Zealots warping in. And I think HuK is going to clean up here. Oh, it's going to be really close. Good micro from SeleCT. It's going to be very, very close.
I feel like SeleCT just panicked and threw away the game right there, pulling about half of his SCVs out of his main to try and do some sort of all-in, but then stimming and running past his SCVs, so essentially not even using the SCVs to tank any damage, losing a ton of his units, then being forced to pull back, then finally his SCVs jumping onto the scene and just getting annihilated by a small group of Zealots and Stalkers. So really now SeleCT is in a terrible position. 43 to 13 Harvesters on the income tab. HuK almost doubling his income, so HuK taking a commanding lead in this 4th and maybe final game.
Yeah, HuK is looking quite strong. 43 Harvesters over 13. I almost feel like he's taunting SeleCT by throwing that robotics bait right at the front. And SeleCT now trying to bunker hop his way to do something, to make something happen. Is it gonna work? The bunker at the front gets cancelled. And SeleCT here microing for dear life, but the longer this game goes on, the further ahead HuK pulls, because he's got 2 bases, he's got almost 4 times the amount of Harvesters that SeleCT has. So SeleCT here in a very, very desperate situation. And there's the Immortal, almost like the sign that says, you lose, I win.
Yeah, that Immortal is just doing tons of damage to these Marauders in that bunker. Finally the Immortal does go down, but it's too little too late. If you look at both the players' bases, look at HuK's infrastructure, how many buildings he has, and compare that to SeleCT's base and the amount of Harvesters that SeleCT has, I mean, there's really